Hi everyone, welcome to Module 2 for Social Work 541. Before we jump into Module 2, I just wanted to take a second to just recap from Module 1. You guys did a really good job with your discussion post. I was really, reading through those. I just wanted to let you guys know you had a lot of good feedback, a lot of good thoughts and ideas. So it sounds like you guys really have a good understanding for Module 1. The only thing I do want to mention is if you haven't been interacting with your peers, I just ask that you please do that, just because it's beneficial to everybody, for you and your peers, just to have that open line of communication to discuss the topics. Not saying that you have to, interact with every single person that's posted. Just make sure you're interacting a little bit. That's all I ask. So from Module 1, I hope that you guys, it sounds like you guys read that material. I hope you have a good understanding of it, because that really lays the foundation for what we're going to continue to work on here on through the semester. Also, if you guys were having any issues with the quizzes, I know a couple of you reached out. If you have any kind of technical issues with your quizzes or anything kind of wonky happens in Blackboard, just reach out and let me know. Please don't suffer in silence. Give me a heads up and we can work on it together. All right, so let's just jump into Module 2. So Module 2, you have a couple of assignments that are going to be due. Just to quickly go over those, the chapters and the main text, you're going to need to read chapters 19, 20, 4, and 5. I know there was some issues with getting the text. I hope you guys have those. If not, please let me know and we can work on that, figure something out. So again, that's chapters 19, 20, 4, and 5 in the main text. And then in the workbook, it's going to be sections 4 through 7. So the workbook sections 4 through 7. The Tuskegee book, don't forget about that. I don't really have a designated time frame of when you should be reading those chapters. Just please note that assignment is from the Tuskegee book. Your paper from that is going to be due, I believe, here in Module 3. So next module it's going to be due. So make sure you're reading up on that Tuskegee book. A lot of good ethic material in that book. And for this, for Module 2, you're going to have your research proposal statement. So that assignment is going to be due September 13th. Now, this is just, I don't want anybody to get really scared about this assignment. This is just your, a proposal. So it's worth 5 points. It's just basically, you're not going to have you're not going to fully know what your research topic is going to be, right? We're still working on that. So this is just a proposal. This is your time to kind of get your thoughts together and a general idea of what your topic is going to be. You're going to submit that. It's just going to be a little statement. Really, I would say a paragraph is too much, right? So just a one or two sentences about what your statement is. You're going to send that to me, and then I'm going to take a look at it and give you some feedback. Your discussion post is also going to help you with some feedback on creating that proposal statement. So don't get really nervous about this assignment. We'll work on it together, and your readings will really help you out with it. So I'll get into that more later. I'll discuss that later on here in this video. But as you read the text, there's a couple of, actually one key thing I really want you to take from this text. So in research, the chapters have a lot of good information that's going to help you with your assignments, but really there's one section that really stands out on the difference of qualitative and quantitative research. Now, again, I know I've mentioned this in the past. Oftentimes people think about, research. What does that have to do with social work? This isn't something that we do, but we do it quite often. And really, knowing the difference between quantitative and qualitative research, is really going to help you throughout, your career in social work. You never know where you're going to land, and it's definitely going to help you, later on. I can think of several times just throughout my career. It's really been beneficial, and with licensure testing. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of times when this information is going to come in handy in the future. So as you're reading the text, please make sure you're focusing on the difference between qualitative and quantitative research. Now, just to kind of briefly talk about that, research papers, at the end of the semester, you're going to be sending in your research paper, not actually conducting research, just a research proposal. All of these papers basically have the same information, right? So in your papers, you're going to have your abstract, then you're going to move down to your introduction, then you're going to have your literature review, then there's going to be a section about participants and methods, right? So the methods is really where quantitative and qualitative research comes into play. So the difference between the two is it's how that information is collected, right? How that data is collected. So now with and please don't feel like you have to only use the text. I know sometimes people get a lot of really good information just off of Googling the difference. Just please make sure you're using a credible source. But so with qualitative, you're really focusing more on it's not specifically numbers. So for example, it'll be it's data on names, smells, what your mood is, right? Because you can't put a number to a mood. So happy, sad, angry, defiant, right? It's also going to be color. So more descriptive things that you can't really put into numbers, more about experiences. Now quantitative does focus more on numbers. Less on, experiences. So quantitative focuses more on your test scores, the size of your shoe, how much you weigh, more of numbers, like what the speed is. So definitely more concrete on numbers. Now, whenever you're collecting information, your methods are going to be a little bit different, right? So for qualitative, your methods of collecting the data are probably going to be more along the lines of surveys, questionnaires, asking people what their experiences were. Whereas quantitative is, you are collecting the data for number-wise. So just keep that in mind as you're reading through the text. And again, there's a lot of optional videos that I have also linked down in the bottom of Module 2 that really explain quantitative and qualitative measures a little bit better if you're more of a video type person. So just make sure you're understanding the difference on those. Now, in terms of your research proposal, again, really want to briefly kind of touch base on that. Again, this is an assignment that you want to get in on time because what happens is, so these modules build on top of each other. So, module 1 is your foundation. You're building up, right, until the last module is where you're going to submit your final paper. So, really taking advantage of the discussions and getting that peer feedback from your classmates is really going to help you. And again, this assignment, the proposal, this is just getting started, right? This is where you're going to determine, just generally what you think your research topic is going to be. So just to give you some examples here, your topic should be related to social work. Somehow, some way, it should be related to social work. And social work is a really broad field. So just as long as it's something that is within our context. So for example, in the past, I've had people, their research proposal is focusing on effective therapy types for OCPD patients. what are effective modalities to use in therapy sessions with patients with postpartum depression. Let me see here. I've had some really good ones, and actually, in your discussions, this is where, if you have an idea, one of your classmates might be able to help you iron out that idea a little bit more. Strategies to encourage women to report domestic violence. And another helpful thing is, if you're just doing some literature reviews and you find a topic that has a lot of information behind it, that might be a good research topic for you. You want to find something that does have a lot of research behind it already, right? You don't want to reinvent the wheel because you're going to have to do a lit review, right? So you want to find a topic that has a lot of good evidence that already supports that. So just keep that in mind as well. Don't find something so unique that it's going to be difficult for you to find information on it. So again, make sure you're reading those chapters, interacting with your peers and your discussion boards, taking those quizzes. It all comes in handy in the end. And as always, if you guys ever need anything, just email me. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I don't want you guys to, again, struggle in silence. Right, I'm here to help you guys out, and just let me know if you need anything, and have a great module 2. Thanks.